Welcome to the maiden edition of the Ladies in Media Show. This program is to celebrate and unveil the outstanding works of women in media. My name is Margaret Baden. Today, we are privileged to be having a conversation with a veteran artist in the gospel fraternity. She was the former president for the Musician Union of Ghana and currently a board member on Gamero. Let's go for a quick breather. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Ladies in Media Show. Today we are about to speak to a woman who has contributed greatly to the gospel fraternity. She is a mother, my mother, and a mother to many. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Ma Dinah Hopeson. Mommy, how are you?
I'm fine. You look good.
Thank you so much. You know, anytime I call upon you, you are always there. I don't know.
We thank God.
I truly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Before, you were known as Dinah Akiumi, but currently you're known as Dinah Hopeson. Mommy, what brought about the change of name?
Okay, so usually artists never think of changing their name, especially after making a hit, making a household name. Nobody would want to change because it becomes a brand name. But you know, the world is such that circumstances are not always the same. And usually when there's a conflict, when there is a division of a group, when there are major changes, sometimes it warrants change of name. In my case, it was because my first name, Dinah Akiumi, was a married name. I was a Mrs. Akiumi. And so when that marriage didn't work, you know, and Akiumi was my manager as well.
Oh.
Yes. So, well, to God be the glory for everything, and may his soul rest in peace. But there was a mental situation which we didn't really take good care of in good time. So at a point when he had relapses and stuff, there were a lot of confusion, and that resulted in our separation and then the finally divorce. So after that, for 10 years, I was a single mom.
Wow.
Then I got married again. And so when I got married again, I had to prayerfully think over if I really wanted to change the name. And well, I would say a lot of thoughts came through. But personally, you know, Diana has its meaning.
Okay.
In Ephesus, is a goddess of love. So for me, I was saying I was a real daughter of Zion. So I don't mind. But at a point, I now dissected the name. Di is double.
Oh,
Anna.
okay.
So Anna is blessing. So double blessings.
Amazing.
And Hopeson, everybody needs hope. And so to be the son of hope, for me, is something unique. So usually I would mention it Diana Hopeson, and I mean double blessing.
So where is the Hopeson coming from now?
Hopeson, I'm married to Dr. Emmanuel Hopeson, and that is why. So it is Mrs. Diana Hopeson.
Mrs. Dinah Hopeson.
Yes.
So that's your current husband?
That's my current husband's name.
Amazing. So that brings us to our question of the day. You can also give us your comment on it. When is it okay for an artist to change his or her name? When is it okay for an artist to change his or her name?
Well, I would not advise a change of name because even up till now, people still love to call me Diana
Akiumi.
And I'm not angry. Like, look, that's me. So, AKA
Diana Akiumi.
But I'm the same person. So, and it is good to keep your name because that is what you are. It's a brand.
Okay.
And so if you are changing a brand, then you need to do more to outdo what people know already. And it's not easy to be able to do that.
That's true. That's a lot of work.
Usually when it's a group and the group splits, then there's that need. But even that, most of them will still keep the name because that is what they are known for. And it's important as an artist when choosing names to have a lot of thoughts because honestly, so when I got married earlier on, I didn't want to use the marital name because of the issues I had with Akiumi.
Yeah.
after the separation. But well, after long thoughts and stuff, I just decided, because the Hopeson is a good name, being the son of hope, we all need hope. So that gives me hope when I use the name. And so it took time for me to let the name
Sink into
sink
you.
into me, to accept it. And I took it on. Yeah.
Okay. So, Mom, we want to go back a little bit. When did you release your first song?
Hey, he is Lord. That was in 1991. He
Wow.
arose from the dead.
He
He
is
is
Lord.
Lord.
Oh,
He is Lord. Every
oh,
knee
that's your
shall bow.
song?
That was my debut. That was my title track. That was in 1991. On that same album, I had Hallelujah. 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 Amen. Hallelujah.
Wow.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Amen. For
Amen.
my praise medley, I had Come on, Bonnie Wayne. God, Giano Quello.
That's your song?
Well, that was not my composition. It's a public domain that
Okay.
in those days, actually, one thing I did after I record my own tracks, I will always add a public domain song. I mean, songs, not just one,
Okay.
in my medleys. Why? Because in those days, like the early 90s, you wouldn't find any album with such songs.
Okay.
But we sang it in the church, and I realized that if we don't preserve it,
It
then
will,
the
to
younger
fade away.
generations may not have access to it. So I intentionally recorded that one, including, um, you know, oh, well, forgive me. The tracks on that medley is gone off my head. But I also did, in those days, I was really active in terms of worship and praise. And so some English songs that I liked, that were cool worship songs, I just turned them into reggae and stuff.
Okay. Like
That's
the winner. Hey, hey,
Now
hey.
Winner was in 1993.
Okay.
And that one too, I was on mission in Nigeria, in
Okay.
Lagos, an area called Iyana Ipaja. And in that church, they would, like, we would preach in English, and it would be translated to Pidgin before Yoruba. And I realized they had news in Pidgin. And I just admired the Nigerians for that, because hitherto in Ghana, in secondary school, when you speak Pidgin, you'll be punished and stuff like that. So Pidgin was like identical to Bad Boys. All the praise and worship songs were all Pidgin, apart
Wow.
from the dialect ones. So when I came back to do my recording, I decided to add a few. The Pidgin in Nigeria and Ghana, there's a slight difference. Nigeria will say Jesus don't win,
Okay.
but Ghana will say Jesus you go win. Uh-huh.
Oh, okay,
Yes,
okay, okay,
so
okay,
I did
okay. I
those
get it.
little changes, and I put that medley together, and that was my biggest hit, actually.
Yes,
Winner
because
was such
because
a
I
big
came
hit.
to meet Weena
Mm.
in Sunday school. We're all singing Weena, hey,
I think
Weena.
what made
Like
it more beautiful were some of the other tracks that I added, like Darling Jesus,
yes,
My
mommy,
Body. In those
mommy, you're taking
days,
my mind back to Sunday school.
yeah.
Wow.
And then for 93, that was where I made that big hit. I had Onyankopon,
Why are they kissing?
Wayadikasi,
Ama.
Amada
Oh
Sama,
yes, I
Adikasia,
know that song.
and none say, Odi Yesu Adumien, Uamaye Nyankwan,
Edo
and Yentwe,
nyami
Unyami Yodomfo,
yodomfo
Mr. Wababedoye,
wababedoye
Ami,
minyami
Unyami,
oyodomfo.
Now, Unyami Yodomfo, the chorus was a normal song in church that would be
Okay.
sung either quietly or the hot praise. But now I picked it, made
Oh,
it reggae, made it chorus for my verses, and people just loved
it
it.
became a hit.
On that same track, I did a worship medley that also took. People love to worship with it. I mean, people would learn track by track, and yeah, it was a good time. In those days, I was selling 1,000 cassettes. 10,000 a month.
Amazing.
So that was great. And so indeed, this industry is good if your work gets
Out
if you get a
there.
hit. I mean, there's nothing that can be compared to it.
So, mommy, how many albums do you have so far?
At the moment, I have 11 albums with a few singles. Yes, yeah. But you know, along the line, when I became the president of Musica in 2007, for 10 years, I couldn't get time to
Okay.
record. So
How did you become the president of Musica?
actually, I got involved with Musica as soon as I recorded my first album. And that
Okay.
was in fact, 1991. So I became a member in 1991. And as a young professional, I felt the safest place to be is be part of the union so that I can learn more.
Okay.
And honestly, my involvement with the union indeed gave me room to learn more. I never missed any seminar the corporate office organized or the union organized. And I learned a lot whilst being part of the union. So I grew through the ranks. I became the Greater Accra treasurer. Then I became the second vice, then to the first vice
Wow.
before I became the president. So
Okay.
I worked with when Ochirema Ghana Bar was the president. That was when I joined, and then saw through Joe Mensah's time before Alhaji Sidi Kubuari, and then um, I came on board.
Wow.
Yeah.
In 2021, you were chosen to represent Ghana in the first Universal Christmas event with other stars. How did that
Yes, yes,
happen?
yes. That is BJ Sam is a Nigerian musician who, one way or the other, spotted me somewhere. So he gave me the concept that oh, this is what he wants to do, and it's amazing. I love Christmas because see how we enjoy our birthdays. And so the birthday of Christ, for me, since he's my savior, it's a period that I don't joke with. Anything to make it special, I will do it. So when he gave me the concept, I
Wow.
quickly rushed to the studio to build on it. And amazingly, the work we did, like the recording I did, he picked everything and even laid more on that foundation. And I'm
Wow.
so proud that that came from Ghana, and we had people from all over the world being part of that project. I like it. Apart from that, I did a Ghana translation. I did the whole song, the Ghanaian version, and
Oh,
featured
okay.
BJ Sam. Yeah.
Wow. So in 2007,
Mm.
the former president, Jay Kufuor, presented an honors to you.
Yeah.
How did that make you feel? Was it the first time you're meeting the president?
Ah, I would say, we are all JJ people because we lived through the coup and we knew only the NDC till we wanted change. So when there was change, everybody was happy. And indeed, yes, my work in the union that linked me to government activities in those days was still so. Yes, I saw him from afar, but being close, I would say that. No, that was not the first time. We went to his house, yes.
Oh,
So I
okay.
had met him before. And it was amazing because at that time, I had just got married like a month after. And my wedding was quiet. So it was that day when I was being called to pick up my award. This time, it was not just Diana Akumi, but
I
Diana
hope so.
Hopeson. And the MC was God in Avenogwa. He announced that, hey, she's now married. And for me, it made me see that, I mean, when your effort is recognized, then you need to do more. At that time, I was pondering, whether I wanted to be the president, and that gave me so much push.
To be
Though
the
I knew
person.
God wanted me to do it, that encouraged me to take the post and indeed put more weight on what I was doing because I realized that hey, the whole nation recognizes my work, and that even gave me energy to do more.
Wow. So how has the journey been like for you?
Very interesting.
Has it been easy, smooth? for you?
Not easy all the time. I mean, the world is a struggle. For you to be alive, that cry, you are a victor. Because before you were born, there had to be competition before you were born. And having survived, it has been on and off and very good. But then, prayerfully, we got Christian music coming in for the next album. Then the third album, we got Suntech supermarkets. My an auntie, recommended someone who loved my music too, so that was also funded. And then If Jesus Says Yes came on in 1995. Then we were able to go to the Europe. We had an European tour. I missed, I would say, an abusive marriage. Yeah, because
Wow.
he was sick, like he had this issue, but we didn't know that that was the situation. Mental ailment is real, and it is not everyone living with mental ailment that you would see by the roadside naked or whatever. It's a situation that when one has it, if you see it quick and you seek medical advice and you are taking your medication, you will be okay. You can live long and live normal. But if you don't know and you don't want to believe and say that there's nothing wrong with you when there is indeed something wrong with you, you mess up and you may have relapses that may cause your early death, which is not necessary. At a point when it was going high, I decided that no, it's better to stay alive. The beating was just too much. And it was like, one day I'll kill you and kill myself.
Seriously?
Yeah. And
So he was
it
just
was
beating you on just
like
unnecessary things.
yeah, things that didn't call for anger and stuff. And I knew that because there were times that he would be nice, lovely, calm. The next moment he's somebody else. The next moment, so it's difficult to even complain because nobody would see it. You will be the liar. So,
Yes, that's true.
but it got to a point that I realized no, we need to seek help, and that would rather worsen it because people would not believe. But then with time, it became evident. So yes, that was, though it was a big challenge, I believe that also helped me grow. And now I can understand people more. I mean, when I get people who are in abusive relationship, I'm able to well assist them. It's all part of my being going to do counseling, and I'm happy with what we do now. We now have the Center for
Amazing.
Peace and Reconciliation, where we do professional counseling and mediation. We do training, we do outreaches and stuff like that. So yes, but I also had good times. I mean, good times on stage, good programs, in Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire, even in Europe, after If Jesus Says Yes, I came out with Ebesimi. Then Onyame Asem Se. Onyame Asem Se was recorded in Europe. That came out in 1999. You know, I did Africa, America. I did a lot of
Oh,
others. But it's amazing. You see, there's an era. Everybody has his time. And when you don't hear from the artist, it's not that the artist is not doing well, but it's like a cycle. There's time
for
for everyone.
everything.
And so, like now we have Dinah Hamilton and Joe
Yeah.
Metal,
Yeah.
Celestine Donko is coming,
Yeah.
there are eras for different artists. And when
Yeah.
it's your time, history is being made, but you will not stay there forever. I call them frontliners. That time is over. Another has to come.
Come, that's
And
true.
being a frontliner, it's very hard. Like your time. I mean, there were times in my life that I stayed a whole month. I stayed in my own house for 5 days. I mean, you are out living in the box, in your bag, and it's interesting, but also challenging. It even
Okay.
affects how you plan your family, because if you are at the time that you are giving birth, if you mix it with concerts and events, you will stress yourself and stress your family. And so
Okay.
you have to plan and know when to have children, know when to even go to school. There were times that I took a break. I took breaks to educate myself. I mean, add more value to myself. And so you just have to plan all these things and accept life, and accept life's gifts and joys as it comes to you, because
Okay.
there's nothing permanent.
Okay. I mean, what triggered the idea for the Ghana Music Publishing?
Good. So Ghana Music Publishing and Management is the premier Ghanaian publishing company. Um, we all want to see a growth in our industry when it comes to royalty. Um, I remember in the early 90s, no, let's say late 90s, during the time of Betty Dusu as the corporate administrator, we started receiving royalties from abroad.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
hmm But all that changed with time because of, I would say, industry players were not that patient. I remember when the corporate office was like advising that we start taking mechanical royalties, for instance. Mechanical royalties is what you take when your work is duplicated.
Oh,
Before that
okay.
company would duplicate the work, those are hard copy types. They would have to pay a percentage, and that was done internationally. And that money will go to the owners, like the
The
composer,
artist.
and yeah. And unfortunately, we Ghanaians said, "Oh no, it is for us." You see, abroad you would have a composer different from the record label,
Oh,
different, but
okay.
because most of us were doing everything,
By
so,
themselves.
but it's like, oh, it's for us, so no, we don't want it, and so yeah.
They rejected it.
hmm There were a lot of things that we were lacking in terms of the industry. And Musica had the first funding from government to do a research. After the research, it was apparent that the work of publishers was near to zero. And
Wow.
without data, proper data for the industry, you can't go far because there should be a record of who did what and who earns what, well documented and well represented everywhere so that when the song is touched anywhere, it goes straight to all those sources. And that aspect was missing. So I decided to venture into the business as well.
Wow.
So GH Music Publishing was registered in 2015, but took over, like started, and I started off as a Gumroad agent, encouraging people to register and stuff till 2018 when the company was listed. So we were invited to meet them. Midem is the biggest world music festival done in
Wow.
France. So there I was open to other international publishers, and now we have sub publishers all over the world. And at the moment, we represent Share Publishing from South Africa. We represent their repertoire here in Ghana.
Wow. So how
So
many people are signed on to
the moment
GH
we've
Music?
signed 59 artists.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. And
That's good.
primarily, I started as pure administrative. I didn't want any trouble. I was just doing administration. But now the demands of the clients, there was the need to do some kind of distribution for them as well. More so now that it is digital. So we've added distribution as well. But we have a blanket contract that has everything in it. So you
Okay.
opt for what you like.
Okay.
But when you sign it, we have access to do everything you want us to do for you.
Okay. So what has been some of the challenges?
Well, I would say, in this country, it's difficult to get capital for our industry. So I'm very happy the government launched a fund last week, and I'm applying like something, because at the moment I need to go to the regions to help
Okay.
gather their data and then also do more distribution and some promotion. At the moment, I would not say I've done enough promotion at all, and it all takes money. I want to call any investor who wants to invest in the Ghana music industry to come help GH Music Publishing so we can reach far. We've done the digital. At the moment, I have a staff of four,
Okay.
including myself, that we are manning the work. And I wouldn't mind getting more and then more input, more resources.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. So, mommy, when they give you an opportunity to turn back time,
Mm.
what do you think you would change?
Mm. What can I change? Is that possible? Um, Honestly, I'm someone who makes sure I make the most of every opportunity. So in school days, I made sure I enjoyed my student days. In my career, I mean, when on set or when in work, I do the most I can. But I would say, I, French, for instance, the way we treated French in school, I wouldn't have. But I believe that
And I've
also
taken
calls
it serious.
very serious. I did, but of course our French teacher left us. So so for a whole year we didn't have a French teacher. Meanwhile,
Monsieur.
we're going to Monsieur,
Monsieur.
Monsieur. We call him Santo Paza.
Oh my God.
So that, and then also music. My school was not offering music to O level when I was in secondary school. It was when I went back to sixth form that we started offering it for O level.
Oh,
So I
okay.
had to later on study music, and that is still a challenge. I pray that the GES will make sure that the curriculum for the creative arts is comprehensive enough so that people can really have that basic knowledge.
Okay. So before we let you go, I want you to tell the young females, this is Ladies in Media show.
Mm.
This issue, your issue in terms of being in an abusive relationship,
Mm.
it happens to many women, many,
Be their
many females.
manager, be
Yes,
their husband,
it happens
an
to many.
uncle,
How can
some.
we survive this? What should we do?
Okay, so I would say your trust in God is premier, because the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. So seek God. For me, because I knew I had God on my side, I could stand the fiercest that came, because I had comfort. I have my refuge. I had comfort in the word of God. I had refuge in Christ that he would deliver me. Now, apart from that, I didn't keep quiet when I realized that it was now beyond what I could handle. If you keep quiet and you go, it will be too late.
We will
Meanwhile,
die.
it can be stopped, it can be controlled if you speak out. I mean, look for people you can rely on. Of course,
Confiding.
you can't rely on man in quotes, because man can fail you. I mean, some of the people you may go for help may
Yeah,
even be the worst. I've
that's
seen it,
true.
a lot of people have, but it's good to professionally seek counseling. Now we have a lot of counselors. We have the Ghana Psychological Association with a host of. You can come to Center for Peace and Reconciliation. We would
Yes,
gladly help you. So there are people there professionally ready to assist. And don't keep quiet, seek help, and
okay.
seek help in time. I know young women who, some right from even age 12, 8, 7, have been abused, and because they have kept it in a corner of their
Yeah,
hearts,
they can't
then
they
they
can't
grow
voice
and
out.
then it brings its head ugly, and has not been so good. So you can be helped. You
That's
can be
true.
helped. I mean, and you are not alone in this. Sometimes you feel you are the only one, and
That's
so then
true.
you
That's
carry the
true.
cross alone. No, and we are available 24/7 to support if you have need. And of course, it is good to keep a journal. Sometimes when you pour out and write everything, how it is going, later you read it and see how you've overcome. It strengthens you. Now, some habits that you would have to cultivate consciously, um, activities you can do sometimes to break the monotony of your just being quiet and being by yourself.
By yourself.
A lot of things you can do, and there's help.
There's
There's help.
help.
Yeah.
As you had, there is always help for you, so you don't have to keep quiet. You need to voice out when you're going through any form of abuse. It can be verbal abuse, and it's
Mhm.
even deadlier.
And that is the
It's just
most dangerous, because
yes,
when you are beaten and you have scratches and marks, people can say, "Oh, what happened? Sorry," and you
yeah,
can put iodine warming. But when you are verbally abused
abuse.
and the insult, it goes deep down to
Yes,
your heart, it creates a scar on your heart, and it's a wound. And to heal such wounds takes a lot of time. So don't deny it. That and when you know that deep down, when you see him, your heart pants. No, once you now can feel your heart beating, panting, and you are scared, then you need to seek help before you yourself
you move
you
on.
get some diseases that you don't have to get. Yeah.
That's true. But mommy, before we let you go, I want you to speak to the young people who are in media now, who are trying to build a brand. what are the steps they need to take? You've survived your steps.
Mm-hmm.
I know you've gone through a lot of things in your journey. We couldn't touch on everything, but what are the steps you want to tell any young woman who is
Fashion.
seeking a space in this media field?
Thank you very much. You know, sometimes competition forces people to do all kinds of things, especially when it comes to music. But I want to encourage you that being in the creative arts is one of the most beautiful industry to be in. That is if you are gifted. So in the first place, find out, are you really talented for this? Or you just want to do it? Or because you see the women nice on TV, you just, no, please. Be sure that it is something that you have the flair for. You do it without stressing yourself. You love it.
Struggling.
Because one, if you don't have that, you are going to compete with people who already have it. And that would be a double strain on you. So be sure you have the gift for it. And how do you know you have it? Providence, you know, and people would testify that, oh, you are good. And then also, some of the things you do would show. You can also take a test. We have a lot of occupational stuff, therapies and stuff that you can take.
Oh,
So you
really?
can know where you best fit, because we all have different gifts. That of the hand, some of
Yes,
us we
yes,
work
yes.
with our hands, some of us we work our body, we are performing artists. Some of us some of us we work with our, you know, our hearts, like we
Yes.
like to serve. So you need to find out where you fit. Not everybody can be a singer. Maybe you are to manage, or you are to write, or you are to produce. And so don't try to be a singer when you are to manage. And then, of course, we all cry for resources, but start with a thousand journey. Start with a step.
Yes.
Start with a little you can, and the environment, shine in the environment you have. If God feels that you have outgrown the environment, He will take you to the community. Then from
Wow.
there you go to the nation. Then you go to nations. So don't despise your small beginnings. I want to encourage you that you have something to offer, and so wait on the Lord, wait on it, study about it, add value to it, practice, 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 practice. And I believe that where your level is, you will be. It's not everybody who will be a superstar.
That's
But
true.
if even you are a star in your church, make sure that the church will admire that and praise God for you. If yours will just be in a school, why not? We need some people to be in the schools. And if
That's
yours will
true.
be in the stadium, why not? We
We
need some
need
people to
people there.
shine in the stadium. So don't look down upon yourself, and know that so stop comparing yourself with others. Just see that they are doing this. You can also do what God has given for you. And there's enough for all of us. There's
Wow.
enough room for all of us. I
Wow.
mean, the whole world, we depend on each
Each
other
other.
to live. And so, please, you are needed. The little you have to offer is needed. And I believe that if we all contribute our quota, Ghana will move forward.
So, Mommy, thank you so much for honoring our invitation. It's been wonderful having this conversation with you today. We've learned so much. And to you, our lovely viewer, I know you've also learned a lot. If you love what I'm wearing today, I was styled by Ruba Curls. Just go on IG and type Ruba Curls, and she will hook you up with anything you want, anything. And also, I want to say a big thank you to my production team as well. This is Ladies in Media, and when we say Ladies in Media, we say we
We are
are
taking
taking
over.
over. See you.